What's up, Blazies? It's Casey Ariel, founder of Blaze Group and your host of Blaze Group Radio. I will be talking about the intersections of Black womanhood, entrepreneurship, news on the culture, and healing as we climb. I launched Blaze Group after spending a decade in corporate America structuring multi-billion-dollar loans for large tech firms, but never once working on a deal team with another Black woman. I left to take world-class knowledge to the streets. Blaze means building leaders and accepting zero excuses, and we go beyond the bare minimum. More than solutions, we create lifelines that help Black women become as limitless as they feel. Snuggle up to this episode. May it feel as safe and nourishing as Big Mama's house did. What's up, Blazies? It is Thursday, November the 2nd, and I am so honored to share space with you this morning. Know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. That you are made for this, and what is in your hand is enough. Know that we do not find balance, we create it. And whatever it is that you need to put down, that you need to say no to, that you've been nurturing to maturity and it is time to relinquish that thing from your hands, it is okay. Whether it is changing your client profiles, your qualifiers for entry, whether it is people that used to walk alongside you, but tension tells you that it is time to part ways. Boundaries are created. They are not found. And you've got this. New things in the culture that are newsworthy. Kendrick Lamar just teamed up with some folks to release a light version of a cell phone. Super, super dope. In that this cell phone will not have a web browser. It will not have tracking, right? Folks tracking your activity. It will not have a lot of the stimulus, the overbearing, I would say. Things that have us overstimulated from day to day, but it will have a calendar, right? You should be able to put in a question, shake the phone, and get some answers, right? Some really cool things, and I love to see us in entrepreneurship just creating the things that we want to have in this lifetime, right? Not always saying they need to do this and they need to do that. But creating the solutions that matter to us in this lifetime, right? I believe wholeheartedly that racism is not our problem to fix. That's some stuff that, white supremacists got to figure out in and of themselves, right? Asking themselves questions like, what are you without whiteness? Are you any good, right? And wrestling with that inside of themselves, like the great Toni Morrison posed, right, when she was alive. And for us, at Blaze, we're not trying to change people's minds about how they see Black folk, how they see Black women, right? Our goal is to change the Black woman's mind about how she sees herself, so that in this lifetime, she has the courage to try. And she does the things that bring her joy, fulfillment, contentment, peace, prosperity, abundance. So big ups to Kendrick for doing it. This phone is $250. It is called, he partnered with a company called Light, right? And it's dope, right? We love to see it. So go check that out. The Light Phone 2. The Light Phone 2 is the name of it. And And I also want to give a shout out to, I'll say Xbox, but for real, like to Sarah Bond. She is a Black woman who's now the president of Xbox. And I actually love to see Black women taking up space in the gaming sector, right? It makes me think about Latoya Peterson. Big shout out to her, a beautiful soul. She's the co-founder and CXO of Glow Up Games. Issa Rae actually funded Glow Up Games as one of their investors, where they make games, that like are fun for Black women to play, right? And I love that, right? Because Black women don't want or need to be in masterminds 365 days out of the year, to be in courses 365 days of the year. Like, we deserve other pockets of existence, right? And abundance and being and joy and laughter, creativity, love, light, etc. So big shout out to the women in the gaming sector doing the damn thing. Love y'all. We need y'all. Rooting for y'all. And I'll leave you with this, right? I'll leave you with this. I was having a short conversation, a short dialogue on Threads yesterday while I was at the gym with Carlos Harris Jr. Big shout out to him. He's a super dope influencer, men's lifestyle influencer. And he was speaking on the frustration he was feeling around, believing in folks more than they, or seeing potential in folks, right, that continues to exceed what they're willing to execute for themselves, and just feeling frustrated at the thought of them willingly giving up, so many opportunities, so many chances, right, to excel, etc. And with love and empathy, because I've definitely been frustrated, cried some tears, made some mistakes this year, especially around that very same thing in entrepreneurship, right? And what I shared with him was, we really have to start listing out the skill sets we need for things. Like, literally the skill sets, not people. We got to stop hiring people. We got to stop looking for people, right? And list out the skill sets we need for things, right? Like, what does someone in this particular position need to be able to do very well, right? And then going out and hiring the experts in those things, people who have those skill sets, period, right? Because it transitions us from business being personal to business being tactical, right? And a lot of the mistakes I've made, I've been taking people who are very analytical, very smart, very quick, very attention oriented, like a lot of attention to detail, and trying to put them in these like loose, abstract, creative spaces where they're ideating with colors and no, right? But I was hiring people, right? Seeing potential in people and trying to put them in spaces that literally do not make sense, right? Literally do not make sense. Just like it does not make sense in most cases for the creative, abstract person to take nothingness, right, words, and put it into a lot of things, and try to have that person give a granular, detailed report or model, right? That's going to be used for, like, I don't know, predictive analytics on AI, right? Like, it just does not make sense, right? And so when we can do that, when we learn those lessons, right? And big shout out to all of the accelerators, mentors, etc., who've helped me to get to that point of realization and acceptance inside of myself, and dying to old parts of myself, right? That felt like this thing had to be attached to people, and like I owed everybody something. So I was going to put them on my back and carry them with me so that I could be more likable on the other side, right? At the mountaintop. I'm grateful for those safe spaces and those folk that have poured into me. And so if I leave with anything, it is that when you are a big fish in a small pond, you're pouring and you're pouring and you're pouring and you're pouring, right? And that's good. And as a leader, as a CEO, you have to become good at that. But we should vacillate between being a big fish in a small pond and a small fish in a big pond often in this journey. Because when you vacillate to being a small fish in a big pond, and so I've intentionally, in Q4 of this year, even Q3 as well. Had to work hard to transition in Q3 of this year. Standing as a small fish in a big pond, it allows me to learn and absorb. I've intentionally surrounded myself with folks who have gone farther than me in entrepreneurship, folks that have worked decades longer than I have, folks that can pour into me. And I'm a student, I'm a learner, right? I'm a mentee. And so just remember that, right? We want to vacillate between being a big fish in a small pond or pouring. That is good. Those are reps we need to learn, right? That's where we learn to hire for skill sets and not people, as well as being a small fish in a big pond. Right? That is where we absorb. We ask questions. We come bruised and battered, right? And we get mended. Love y'all. Take care. Have an amazing day. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to Blaze Group Radio. Remember, you have not yet met all of the people in your life who are going to love you. So keep going. Download the Blaze Group app for day-to-day support on your entrepreneurial journey. Until next time.